pros and cons
of Englewood, Florida.
And we're getting started right now.
If you're looking to move to the Englewood area,
make sure to call, text, or email me. I am a local realtor here. My information will be in the description box below.
So I'm just gonna go off the cuff, and I'm gonna let you go off the cuff. My first pro for Englewood, Florida is I love the old Florida feel of it. For a lot of people, when they first experience it, if they're not from Florida or the South, kind of has a little bit more of that kind of like old, I don't know how to explain it.
Old,
Southern,
maybe rundown.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Some people would call it even rundown, but like once you get used to it, there's just a certain charm and feel and relaxed vibe to it that to me, I love now. At first, we were kind of on the fence about it, and now I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and also they are actually redoing the downtown area so that the old Florida feel will still be there, but the streets and everything will look a little bit different just because they're redoing the whole thing. A pro for me would be the small town feel. Englewood is actually known as a sleepy town just because there is not, a lot of people there. There's not a lot always going on like in a bigger city like, say, Sarasota or even Venice for that matter. And Venice is not even a big city. But yes, it's a lot more relaxed. You feel like you're almost in a different country, like on an island.
Yeah.
Just the feel of it is just so much different. And I think it might be because of that old Florida feel. So the vibes are a little bit different.
And that brings me, I actually want to add something to that, to the next pro. I feel like even though they're a very small town, they might even be better than Venice where we live for this. I feel like their nightlife, as far as like live music and bands down by the main Englewood beach, might be better. And then Dearborn Street seems like it's just got, again, there's a lot of live musicians and stuff in downtown Venice. We've said this in other videos. We'll have a playlist down below for Life in Venice, Florida, and it's got a whole bunch of videos, and Life in Englewood, Florida, a whole bunch of videos. But the live music hits different in Englewood versus Venice. It just feels a little more rock and hip hop maybe, or just, it's even though I think the demographic of Englewood is a little older than Venice, it seems like their nightlife is a little more geared to maybe someone in their 20s, 30s, 40s.
Yes, definitely. It's a lot more lively, and people actually will dance. A lot of times here in Venice we'll have little festivals and things like that, but people usually don't dance, and that's always like, why isn't no one dancing?
Yeah, it seems more geared towards like retirees and families.
Like relax and just listen to the music. And Englewood, it's like, no, like people will actually dance, so that's kind of like a breath of fresh air, especially with Englewood being, a little bit older. Another pro for me for Englewood is actually all the restaurants that are near the beach. We don't have that in Venice. In Englewood, you have all these restaurants and bars on one side of the road, and then on the other side, this is on Beach Road, on the other side you have the beach. So it's really nice. It's like if, say, you go to the beach, you get hungry, you can just cross the street, go eat. And in Venice, if you want to do that, like you actually have to drive somewhere to go eat.
We got a couple more pros coming for you, but let's start to jump into a couple of the cons. I think one of the cons for some people, we kind of mentioned this before, is that it does have that old Florida feel. So it's like for some people pro, some a con. Again, though, it's something that might grow on you, but it does, I don't want to say it looks beat up or run down, because I think that's the term that gets thrown out there at times. It's just a little older. I don't know how to explain it, but for some people that vibe and feel and look is just going to be like, I can't do that. It looks just like it's maybe a rough neighborhood or this. And there are a few pockets where there are some actual rundown homes or beat up homes. So we're not saying there's none, but overall, I think some of them are just like people wanting to retire in Florida, do it on the cheap. They got a small house. They don't worry about having the lawn be super pristine. And so because of that, some people see some of that stuff and they're like, what is all this?
Yes. Another con would be, again, living in Florida for 3.5 years now, we now understand the culture here, and it's much different than where we came from in Wisconsin. But there is a lot of mobile homes throughout Englewood and throughout the area. I would say Florida has a lot of mobile homes, manufactured homes, and this is because, again, people are moving here. They want to do it on the maybe cheaper side and not have to worry about having like a huge mortgage payment when they already have a home in, up north. So there is a lot of mobile and manufactured homes, and because of that, people from other states, when they come here, unless you're from the south, of course, they're like, okay, this might be a dangerous side of town. Like there's a lot of mobile homes. Like they get such mixed feelings when they're here. But the crime rate in Englewood, it's not bad at all.
No. I'd say another con to Englewood, kind of again, it ties in with some of the pros, is it is kind of has that more small, sleepy town feel. So to some people, if you're looking for lots of stuff to do, it's not necessarily the best. Like Venice, it's very good if you want to do a lot of outdoors type stuff, nature. There's lots of parks, lots of trails, playgrounds. If you like going out to eat, near the beach, there's that kind of stuff. And there is shopping. We've seen videos from other YouTubers that have said like there's really not a lot of there is if you go all the way down the whole 776,
strip,
the whole strip. Basically, you got Walmart, you got Target, you got Publix, you got Winn-Dixie grocery stores, you've got your Bell's outlets. There's shopping of just about anything you need you can get. The more want type stuff of stores, there's going to be a little bit less of. And you're not too far though from like Fort Myers, Sarasota, if you want to get a little bit more of that kind of stuff.
Or even Northport and Venice have a lot of shopping
and
too.
Welland Park is kind of in between where Northport, Venice, and Englewood sits. So once the Welland Park downtown is completed, that's going to be right at your fingertips too.
Another con for Englewood is actually paying for parking on the beach. This for us is different because we get free parking here in Venice, but whenever we want to go to Englewood Beach, we do have to pay for parking. And they used to have the little
Station thing or whatever,
where you could pay, and now they got rid of that, and now you have to pay through your phone, so using an app through your phone. So
the first time it stinks, but once it's set up, it's kind of easy.
Yeah, especially if you live in the area, like you just download that app because there is going to be a lot of paid parking throughout the area, so you just use that app and it's easy. But if you're just here visiting, that might be a whole different story.
And one other nice thing about the app is it's the Park Mobile app is what it's called, and we were just out to Orlando to visit for a few days, and it's the same for like the parking spots there. So the same app, probably just I think anywhere in Florida, anywhere we've been so far, it's covered us. So something to keep in mind. One other thing that I will say though, now that we'll get back to a couple more pros, is the main Englewood beach that has the restaurants across the street. That does cost money, but you got two other beaches to pick from, and they do not have paid parking: Blind Pass Beach and Minnesota Beach, and also actually Sun Pass Beach, but that one you do have to pay for because it's like a state park thing, and it's near the Englewood Beach area. So because Englewood's split a little bit on what counties it's in, it's Sarasota County, and then the southern half is Charlotte County. The ones that are in Sarasota County, you don't have to pay for parking. And one other thing to note as far as with that pro, with a selection of beaches, is Venice gets all the fame for prehistoric shark teeth and being able to find seashells, but Englewood's beaches are great for that as well. In our opinion, I think they're better.
Yeah, especially Minnesota Keys.
Except for maybe Casperson Beach. That one, the last few times we've been out there, there's just been piles of seashells. But outside of that, I would say it's more consistent across all Englewood's beaches being able to find that stuff.
Another pro for Englewood is if you're a younger family moving to the area, Englewood has great schools and very low crime rate. And the schools, Sarasota County, it's known for having, great schools. So if you're in the Sarasota County part of Englewood, you're going to be in a great school system. If you're in the Charlotte County part of Englewood, you're still in a very good school system, especially like Lemon Bay High School. It's known for being a great high school in Englewood.
And one thing, I don't know, just spring to mind, so I want to mention it quick. It's not a new pro, but on the shopping tangent and things to do, Port Charlotte is right next door, and there's a lot of shopping in Port Charlotte. They even have a mall, so I just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
And Sarasota too, UTC Mall, it's only a 45 minute drive, so not bad.
Yeah, and then my final pro, and then I'll let you do one more, is that Englewood, if you want to live in a beach city and you like the Gulf Coast, and Venice is a little out of your budget, Englewood's just south of it, and it's going to be way cheaper than Sarasota and cheaper than Venice. You can still be on the beach, and you're still like right next door to Venice. You'll be right next door to the new downtown that's being built in Welland Park. So to me, it's a really great location. I feel like prices are really going to appreciate over the years, but at this time right now, it's a little bit cheaper than a lot of the other beach towns that you might be looking at on the Gulf Coast.
Yes.
And you get an actual beach, because there's a lot of other ones like Cape Coral and stuff where you're on the Gulf Coast, but you don't really have a beach. You're going to have to do a little bit more of a drive to get there.
And then with Cape Coral too, it's a small town, but it's really not, because you're like in the middle of all these big cities around it. So it's kind of like when we moved to the Orlando area, we thought we were in a smaller town, and all those towns or cities, they just basically blend in, and it's just one big
blob of city.
Yes.
Conglomerate.
That's your word.
It is my word. I invented that word.
Another pro for me for Englewood is that there is a lot of different things going on as far as getting you to the water. So not just the beach. I feel like in Venice we just have the beach and that's it. Englewood has like parasail tours. They have like dolphin tours. They have like all these different little tours, and then
sunset tours.
Sunset, yeah. And then also they have a lot of different parks and trails that you can go.
Some of them have like kayak launches and stuff that you can take, and boat canoe launches.
Yes, yeah. So there is a lot of more things to do on the water, and you don't have to like own like a kayak to experience that. You know, you can just do it. Especially if you're just visiting, just do the tour with them, and then that way also you can feel safer because they know what they're doing and you probably don't.
Yeah, and just as a whole, I would say it's just a great for outdoor activities in general, not just the water. I mean, so there's some very big parks, lots of trails, and if you're into nature and things like that, there's no shortage of that kind of stuff, which Venice is really great for as well. But in Englewood, I feel like it's maybe even a little better. The parks feel a little bit bigger, although we do have some very big parks here too. And on that note, if you want to see our comparison of Englewood versus Venice, check out the link that will be pinned to the comments, and we'll also have it in the description. But if you're looking to move to anywhere in this area,
make sure to call, text, or email me. I am a local realtor here. My information will be in the description box below.
Leave a comment, let us know your thoughts, hit the subscribe button, turn on all notifications, hit the like button, all the buttons, hit them, and live breezy.